So you can click on the, okay. Just click on it. So normally we create the envelope, but since you don't have all the information, what we can do to just save you time is start filling it out now. And then we can save and close it.
Oh, yeah.
And then it should save all the information so that when you get her email, you can create the envelope, but that way you're not waiting for everything, yeah. You don't need to get this, you can fill out like some, so. we can see. Yes, that's the name. Then you get the seller's name then. But right now you can see. Yeah, the open and the left. Yep, is that, is it? Okay, yeah. Take a scroll up to the top. Right there. On that number. And then you can see the. Right. That's what it looks like, yeah. And if the name isn't right, the other agent will send you a Devin correcting the name. You could ask for the name in advance as well, but it's probably wrong. You just check the spelling on that. So I'll need to be here for a little bit.
Yeah, I thought I, yeah, multi-task.
It'll get good.
Not that there's such a thing, but yeah, and I figured this was probably to get this done.
How are you? Life is wild.
How are you doing? Running with your head cut off.
It's so wild. You're still raising grandkids, right? You just. That's probably like how it's gonna be from now on.
He's getting infected. But
Weird.
so instead of like figuring that out, so she can like either get into that. Gonna move in with pride. We'll find out what she does. Partner,
What she,
you just nothing.
Yeah.
And she's even get comments, oh, it's doing so much better than we did.
Weird. You're a little. I mean, that's why they live with me.
Yeah.
I know, like, I have a son, they have a kid, they're not married, but it's a fun relationship, and so for a couple of years, I pretty much raised him.
Yeah.
He's almost 3, but I haven't for 2 years. So I'm just curious, how did it come about to where is it your daughter? Is it the
It's
baby's
our
mom?
adopted.
Oh, they're adopted. Oh, okay.
So my 2 girls are sisters with baby.
Have you guys met?
No.
This is
I'm
Jen
Hi,
Simpson.
Jen.
She's gonna teach the social media class tonight. This is Melissa Montgomery and this is Cindy.
So Bailey kept saying stuff about like right in her head and all that stuff. Well, every time I get it more, it was always, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Wait, you know, we're looking to do it. So anyway. I kept saying like we went over there in November, no, it was November. It was part of November. Cause they kept saying the kids. And I'm like, bringing medicine, like, as a, you know, way in. Well, house was a disaster.
Oh, no.
So then we helped her clean up on the weekend and then. Kind of the same thing stuff happened.
Well, but this is Melissa. Hey, how are you? Oh, good. Well, is it a good time to ask her real quick, there's name, you want to Yeah. It's currently going on.
I think a lot of people are making this week.
They are on vacation.
So I got a couple emails from people that were like, I'm not gonna make it to the Ignite. My work is having a work party in Sugar House and then it's either this or that. And I was like, priorities.
Oh, I like it, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. There's lots of hard choices like that in the real estate world too.
yeah, I was like, my kids were excited for like the bounce houses and stuff, but I was like, look, like priorities, guys. One or the other.
You come straight here from work, right?
Mhm. You need the book.
So most people do.
Emily, happy to second.
I have my open house kit too, but
I'm gonna put up open house night.
okay, I can do that too. I'm not gonna stay the whole time.
You know.
Let me do that.
2 seconds, be ready.
No, I'm gonna do like a little opening thing.
Oh, do it.
So you got 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, do it, do it, do it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
I'm not messy, I just used it. It's messy. So.
A quick question, so if this house says that it is, as is. Say they do an FHA loan, you know, how FHA has certain requirements, is there a possibility then that they won't be able to purchase the home?
So in Utah, all of our homes are sold as is,
Oh,
and then repairs are negotiated through the contract.
oh,
So you can still negotiate repairs through that FHA. Like if the appraiser requires repairs, or if you go and the inspection is bad,
yeah.
so our contracts are actually written as is contracts. Without
Well,
the
I
repairs.
thought that was gonna be a hurdle, I hadn't,
Did he advertise it on the MLS as
Yeah.
is? So it still might be, right, cause maybe the sellers don't have money to do repairs or
yeah,
time
they
or
did say that
energy.
the seller's not gonna pay for anything,
So it could be a hurdle.
yeah. Depending on what and how much their expenses are.
Mhm. Did you notice any repairs that you felt would make it not qualify for
You know,
FHA?
like a closet doors off the back or off the hinges, you know, needs to be fixed. The back door shuts and locks, but it's kind of like, kind of have to mess with it a little bit. But to me, like, I mean, it needs new paint, you know, new carpet, but.
So FHA is gonna look for safety and structural issues, not for like
Yeah, I didn't see any
things that need to
safety
be.
or trouble in my- But I don't know much, I knew, so. But from what I've seen, like, I wouldn't feel like there's any safety issues there.
Okay,
But they could say, repairs needed because of. A light cover's not on, like.
yeah, like expose the light.
Yeah. But stuff like that, like, just take it to the agent and like, either the agent will take it to the dealer or. The agent will just do it.
Do it themselves, yeah, okay, just to make the deal go through. right?
Oh, yeah, I heard if it was a deal over $100, like.
Yeah, it's, okay.
So I'll introduce you guys, this is Steph Phipps.
Hi.
So she is gonna teach about open houses. I'm gonna do her little interview in a minute. And then Jen Simpson, she's gonna teach about social media and lead generating style. So did you guys know we're in the lead generating business? We think we're selling homes, but we're actually finding leads. And we have Haley online too, who's been an agent for a minute and now she's jumping back in full time. It's kind of exciting. I wanted to share one book that I think is super valuable. It's this book called Exactly What to Say. And then he also has, written by Phil Jones. He also has a book called Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. So it's not like a script book as much as it is like a theory book. Oh yeah. It's not like a, like, it's not gonna tell you exactly what to say, like it says, but it is gonna tell you like how to say it and some phrases to use. So like, I don't know if this is for you, but this class could be valuable to help you lead generate, right? And that's the script that that he uses in there. So let's start with, practice script for our database. So do you guys know what a database is? Right? I know, it's the data bank where all our people are at. And so we want to maintain providing value to our database. It's like the people that we know, like and trust, and probably people we want to work with. That's like how I've narrowed down my database now. Like if I don't want to work with you, I deleted you.
And be careful when you do that.
Be careful when you delete them.
Yeah,
They come back.
well, they come back or they can sue you because you didn't help them.
Oh,
So be careful that you have a reason not to.
yeah. So, yeah, you want to make sure you're following fair housing.
Yeah.
So, let's say this is you're reaching out to your database and discover that someone is starting a home improvement project. What can you offer to add value and stay top of mind as a real estate expert? You can, probably type it in the chat, Julia, or try talking and I'll see if the volume's. Every day, this TV volume is the best.
It's always something new.
Where is Alex? No,
It's not ever new, it's like, the volume never ever. And then one day it'll be at 50. So, so what would you guys do? So if someone in your database is gonna start a home improvement project, as you're calling through, just caring about them, having conversations. What kind of value can you offer them?
We have a lot of connections, contractors, and companies. that
Yeah.
We want to use, and a lot of them give us discounts or special rates based off of our connection with Keller Williams.
Yeah, yeah, and even if they don't give us discounts or special rates, right, they are vetted.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a quality person. What else? Anything else? You guys can think of?
So they're doing like
Home improvement projects, such as
on their own home, or are they like?
Mhm. on their own home, yep.
I mean, you can give them an evaluation of how much it's going to be worth before and after.
Mhm.
So, you know, if they're planning on remodeling the kitchen, you could tell them, give them a ballpark of how much much value that's gonna add to their home in the long run.
Yeah, you could, maybe send them some like trends, what's in style now. You could also just send them like a funny meme of like a person pulling their hair out while they're doing home improvement, right? Like, hey, I get this is not easy, what you're doing. Yep, he
Oh,
said that.
sorry.
Yep,
I
that
might
was
have been gone.
first. I love it, yeah. What else? Anything else you got? Stanford Jen? Sue? Survey, we did contractors, home valuations.
Interest.
Yep, Pinterest boards, for sure, the training styles. Anything else you guys can think of?
For like Legion,
Or just maintaining a relationship with your database when they're doing home improvement. I think you could follow it up and see how it's going, like. Oh, yeah, before and after pictures. That's a fun one.
not my.
Yeah. Yeah, stop by and see it, like, stop by and see it and be excited with them.
And they want you to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and then you can get a more accurate home value.
Mhm.
Like, for real on it. So let's see, we'll do, you meet someone at the store who expresses interest in buying a home. They do not want to use a real estate agent because they feel like the internet can give them all the information they need. What are you gonna say to demonstrate your value?
Like explain to them that you've been doing this for a couple of years and that you actually understand the market and like the way that we talked about knowing the market. And like what's going on in your area and telling them about that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and do you think you can negotiate with different personalities over the internet? Like, no, you need somebody that is trained in human. Being human, right?
I
Like,
mean, not just get an offer, send.
right, right. I've had sellers, you guys have been in the business a long time too, you guys have probably had the same thing. I've had sellers say they don't want to work with a person not being represented by an agent because it's too much work. They think that that person's trying to cut corners and they're gonna nickel and dime them too, and so they're like, no, they see the value in why both sides should be represented.
Well, to me, I always ask questions, okay. The internet can be great, but what resources are you actually looking at?
Yeah,
Cause that's a whole different story, like. Reddit,
Reddit, I love it, it's so much drama.
people,
I know. Funniest ever, I'm not gonna lie.
I've gone fights with people over that, it's like, I've heard, really,
Mhm.
really,
It's on, you
Well-
know,
well,
KSL, it's
it's
gotta be
like-
real.
right.
Well,
so
and
like,
honestly, like, think about WebMD,
Right. And
everybody
go
has
there.
the worst case
Everybody has
scenario.
cancer.
Done.
Done.
Everybody has the worst case scenario. And so like if they're not going to a real doctor and they're just diagnosing themselves on WebMD, it's the same as like a person just using the internet.
Okay, so one of my things, with Zillow and. Right now, right off the top of my head, I can't think, but. I was like, wow, I'll just use Zillow. Okay, great, but did you know that Zillow CEO went to sell his house? And when he went, he did the estimate. And then the actual appraisal was $1 million off.
On the owner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So why would you use that as a resource? Like, and I'll send it to him, like, here's the article, read it,
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
We're non-disclosure state too, so Zillow's not accurate.
Yeah. So, I went to Tom Ferry yesterday. He's a big real estate coach in the industry and he had an event here in Salt Lake. So I went and attended that event yesterday and he, Tom Ferry had said, honestly, we can just use Zillow to our advantage because of how inaccurate they are. So like sending people a copy of their Zestimate history, being like, hey, this is what Zillow has said your home is worth over the years. What's your take on that? How do you feel about that? And that just starting conversations with them and kind of using Zillow to your advantage because it's not accurate because we are a non-disclosure state. I think there's only 2 of us, right? Us in Texas. Yeah. Or is there more? There might be more. But which is why they need a professional looking at it. The Zestimate's also just an algorithm.
My house is 453 and a real appraisal came in about 6 months ago and it was 615.
I was
gonna
thinking
say it's
that.
not 6.
I was like, you're like 415. I was like, I would definitely buy your house for
Right.
415.
Great, sold.
Yeah. For
Oh, yeah, you
real.
went on a tour of my house too.
Her poor house flooded, like when she was on vacation the day before her daughter's baby
It was awesome.
shower. Tell me about what you guys have done. Have you, I know Judah, you've probably been lead generating since, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? So how has that been going?
Very slow, very hit or miss. Like, I was just out today before class, I knocked on 50 houses,
Mhm.
had 50 flyers, and only about 7 doors actually opened at all. And there were quite a few of them where they would be through the blinds, and then I'd stand there for another 5 minutes and then the door, or I would know there were people in the house, but they had a doorbell camera, and again, same thing, like I could hear them, and then they heard me, and then they just nothing, so. But then some days it's better, some days you get more people that actually want to have a conversation, and I think it's 90% neighborhood, you know, and time of day.
Yeah.
When you show up, who's actually living there.
Yeah, there's some neighborhoods that just people are not home more often, and some neighborhoods more people are home in the evenings, and some neighborhoods more people are home in the mornings, and it's just like you kind of can track your CGI, what is it called? KPIs, like
Yeah.
the key performance indicators, like what time you're going, what neighborhood you went in, and then what your results were, and then you can kind of figure out where you had the best results at. So that's a good way to do that. What about you guys? Have you guys been talking to people? You're not in school yet, right, Javon? So you've been telling people you're thinking about it?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm probably gonna go back in the fall, back in, either Weaven,
Oh, Tech?
Weaver Tech or
Mhm.
the Davis Tech.
You, for real estate, you know, we have preschool here, well, scholarships to school.
Well,
here.
I had also talked to him.
Yeah, we can set you up on that if you are interested in that. Because we can offer scholarships to an online school called Kaplan.
Oh.
And,
That one's at your own.
yeah, it's at your own pace. And you can only do so much school per day, like
Right.
from the division rules. But you can definitely get it done in like 2-3 weeks if you want it.
I do say, yeah,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, or you could take it up to a year. To get it done. You didn't, none of you guys go to Kaplan, right? You do? Okay, perfect. Yeah, through our scholarship program. Yeah, it's super awesome that we offer that now. I don't think we offered that when you were in school, or we would have offered it to you. It's
Yeah.
newer.
Got my license. Maybe,
Yeah, I think that's like when we were fresh coming out with it and you were already done with school by then.
Yeah.
But it's worth it to not have to pay for school, because it's a couple $100 usually. So, this is Steph. Are you guys gonna co-teach, or one of you, you're gonna teach open houses and then you're gonna teach social media?
We can rotate and she can.
However you guys want. So, I'm gonna just
But it won't be
interview
like-
individually, so I'll interview Steph first. So Steph, yeah, how long have you been in real estate?
22 years.
Did
For
you
a day
guys
or
know
two.
she's like, she's 23 years old and she's been in real estate for 22 years.
Right? In May it was 22.
How long have you been at Keller Williams?
22.
22
Oh,
years.
time.
Yeah.
So,
She was a freshie here when Keller Williams just barely came to Utah.
it was- try to think. I think we came in 19.
In 22. Well, they would they here before you got here? You were one of the first agents though.
So, yeah, Pam Zarni just barely retired. She was here when I first came here.
Yeah.
So, Dinah Scheitel's the one that started Keller here in Utah, and she's still with us.
She's still in our office. Yep.
Yep.
She is. So Steph's kind of a lifer here, so she knows a thing or two.
I'll be here forever.
She knows a thing or two about all this. It's also good she's also good to know because she knows so many people in the industry because she's been in it for so long. And so she's seen all kinds of different things.
Works to your advantage too, so just be nice to other agents.
It's a small playground we play in.
Yeah.
Like, we're sure in the real estate world, there's a lot of agents out there. There's not a lot doing business. So it's a small playground for sure. What I see from your lead generation is she really has, doubled down on working her database and calling through them and maintaining those relationships. And then she's a rock star. Yeah, and you built your SOI by doing open houses,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, open house it, all of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of it has been the open houses. Door knocking, my probably number one referral and business came from this door knocking. We weren't even close to the house. And she invited us in. She didn't sell for a while. It was probably a good 2 years of just maintaining, talking. And she called me and she's like, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "I do." And so we started talking. We've had my daughter's birthday parties there. They invite us both to swim all the time.
I've met some of my best friends door knocking and
Yeah.
sold them houses like too.
Yeah.
And then they're good referral sources.
I have done probably 30 from her. So. Over.
In 22 years. Well, and you probably
Yeah.
didn't meet her year one, right?
No, I met her about 8 or 9 years ago. And now I've, all of her kids bought for me. So her kids, her church, everybody.
Yeah. I
Fun.
love it. I love it. What do you do to reward her?
I've taken her Minkies. I take her birthday presents every single year. I just go and hang out with her. She has her grandkids all the time. So like taking her somewhere, going to lunch or something, it's just should.
I think that, we think we have to provide all this tangible value to people too, and we forget just being in a relationship with us is actually valuable. Like just being a genuine friend is valuable.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it. I love it. Steph works here, she has her daughter, so she runs a little small team. She has her daughter on there too, and soon to be a granddaughter, so they're gonna be a 3-person team.
So stoked. Well, and Ted was showing houses with me even at 1 year old.
Yep.
And so she would go through, my husband's a home inspector, so she would go through and she's like, "Hi, frack." I'm like, "Okay," or "There's something on the ground." And so she learned from day one.
How to be, she was born to be a realtor for real.
Mhm. And she fought it for a while. She didn't want to do it for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, we're at Kia getting her car. She's like, "I want to do that." I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Jen Simpson, so how long have you been in the business?
6 years,
6 years.
very long.
What did you do before?
So I worked for Hewlett Packard. I was a geek.
I was a geek.
Corporate job. Did you have a big SOI at Hewlett Packard?
Yeah, but it didn't matter, because most of my clients and stuff were in Central.
Mm-hmm. Like at the corporate headquarters, not in Utah?
Well, not in corporate, but my state territory was just Central.
So, did you have a big social media following when you were at Hewlett Packard? So Jen has, over 1 million followers on
So,
her Instagram. If you guys wanna help her get to 2 million, follow her at Utah Homes Team. on Instagram.
Well, I did change it to Jensen. Yeah,
Oh, Jen Simpson dash Utah Homes Team.
just getting more of the influencer stuff going. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. So, so she, in 6 years, she's built her Instagram to 1 million followers. And she's built her business pretty big. One thing I'll tell you guys about both of these ladies, and really a lot of the top people in our office, is that they work hard. So even if you don't see them in the office, they're still making their phone calls. They're still following up with their relationships and having this system to make sure that they're remembering what they talked about to somebody last time and what's going on with them, because if, how many leads a day do you think you get through your social media? Kind of like a couple a day, but not all of them pan out, and then,
Yeah, so Instagram, I get a few leads, and then on, Facebook, I get more leads. I've had to start automating, so I like use
Mhm.
the chat bots. But
well, and that probably filters out some people that aren't real leads too, right? The
Yeah.
chat box, yeah.
And I'm pretty straightforward with my leads, like they come in and say, well, is this house available? Well. Any house is available, like, let's figure this out.
Right,
You know?
like, hold on, are you available to buy it? Like, do you qualify?
And that's one of my first questions is, do you know what your credit
Mm-hmm,
scoring? Kind of go from there, but I'll ask them for their phone number and email address right off the bat. They just gave me permission to have them on my database,
yep,
like, so
yeah,
I'm not shy about asking. If they're serious, they'll give it to
right, if they want to buy a house, they'll give it to you for sure, if they're interested.
It's not to be a reminder.
Yeah. And that's something else, that Jen has done. You teamed up with a credit repair company or a lender that had a credit repair
Yeah,
company.
I just look at her. That I work with, but a lot of that will, they don't have to pay for it, like they have to do the initial payment just to show that they're
Serious.
serious.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people, they get all this stuff free, they're like.
They don't have any
"Okay."
skin in the game. Why are they gonna take it serious?
Yeah, so I mean, they'll pay it a little bit of it, but then they get back at closing, like, it's paid at closing,
Yeah,
when they get whatever they invested already. I don't work with things that drag them out for a long time, so. If they say, well, we're just gonna work with them until they're fixed, no,
and you have to pay every month
Right.
and
if they're getting paid, it doesn't matter. If they fix
why would
it
they
or not.
fix it? Yeah.
So if somebody says to me, well, we try to get them done with 6 months, okay, great, like, let's do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so, we were just talking about like vendors with that remodel, situation, and I mean, having a credit repair person and a lender on your team is high level, like that's something you're gonna need. Because a lot of people wanna buy a house, but they can't figure out how, and they don't see a path to better credit unless you show them the path.
If you've got a good lender, they're gonna have better repair analytics, so it's
Mhm.
like exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tommy has that at Unity, he has the, I forget what it's called, but where they put it in and then they can say, this is the card you should pay down, or like, and sometimes it's not just paying off or things, it's actually getting strategic about it. So, I'm gonna let these guys get started. And then, it is recording,
Oh, good.
so be aware of that.
And it's totally different from the last time is it different from you? I taught this like a few different times.
You taught it with the new course.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow.
well, I
Good
think
information.
I think the class has, like a good key to follow, but I also
Mhm.
think you guys probably want a
Life.
real life experience, right? Not just what the slides are saying. So that will be good. So this is a book I recommend, or exactly what to say for real estate agents. And then if you guys want, I have some stickers. You can just sort through and pick one or two.
You're so cute.
They're
And
coming.
this, exactly what to say, I am actually on my third time listening to it. They even have cards if you want the
I
cards.
have them, yeah.
And it's awesome.
They have role play cards, kind of like these ones that I use for,
Yeah.
with the situation cards in here. Their role play cards are a little bit different, and I like both.
Yeah.
He has a class coming up. Did you sign up for the digital class?
For
The
Phil Jones,
workbook?
I have not, that is under $49.
It's like 149.
Yeah.
So, coming up that Keller Williams is offering us. If you guys want to hear more about him, we have a podcast called the MREA podcast. MREA stands for Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And there's a podcast on there. Phil Jones is on two of them, two separate of the podcast episodes. They're both really great to listen to. And that whole podcast is too.
I like it.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave my open house basket here, if you wanna
Yeah.
show them what's in it and
Yeah.
then just put it in my office. picture.
Cool.
Okay, and I got you guys marked down, for being here, and then I'll send out the email, and I didn't send out the one from Tuesday, so I'll get that out today too.
Thank you.
Want some stickers?
Oh, sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, if you want any,
Oh, I love the pink filter.
yeah, take it. No magic.
Okay.
Ah, look
I know, right? That was for Bubba. He loves dinosaurs. Okay, Bubba's.
Hey, good
20.
luck, guys.
Isn't that fun? My friend made it for me. And if you guys want stuff like that, I can get those made for you. So, anyway. What do you wanna learn? Is there something you guys are wanting to take out of the class?
I'd like to know how you do open houses first,
Okay.
what your process is, how long it takes for you to go from start to finish.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so. We're just gonna kind of go through a whole bunch of different things, what they kind of tell you how to capture the leads. I do a lot of door knocking, I do a lot of phone calls. I personally rather door knock. So I don't know, it's up to you. But the phone calls, your first one's always the hardest, every single day. It's like 900 pounds to pick up a phone, but after you do it, it's perfect. It goes really smooth because what are they gonna do? Hang up on you? Okay. You know what I mean? You call back, oh shoot, I got disconnected. Just kidding. Don't. But, and make sure your TCPA on that. Gary Pillar says nothing else about your business will have as big of an effect on you as the number of leads you have. So the more leads, the more business. So the purpose to holding an open house, it's for your sellers, yeah, it's for the buyers, and it's for the leads. So pretty much really it's for the leads that's coming in. So I tell my clients all the time, I love to do open houses for you, we'll hold them, you know. So what's like the biggest fears around your open houses? What are your like beliefs?
Oh, cause I just did one, you know,
Yeah.
and it was interesting, you know, you've got your book to have them sign in. And for whatever reason, trying to get them to give you their information is,
I love that.
Yeah,
did you feel that?
yeah.
Okay,
I will tell you how I do it,
good,
because I get their information usually every time. There's a few of them that will not put their email or not put their phone number, but I'll get their information. You can use QR codes. I have not used them enough to say that's the best way, but I'm sure she has. I know that if I see their writing on the paper, I can see that they're communicating already. So I have had false numbers, but you know, I mean, it's the risk that we're in, but I'll come back to that because that's a really good one. What else? Maybe I don't have enough signs. The office does provide you to check them out. So if you don't have signs, all of us other agents have signs that you can borrow. And then it's like $150. And if you get a commission of 9,000, kind of works out pretty. What's another like fair?
I mean, mine has just been like either people don't show up to the open house at all.
Mhm.
Or they're all like represented.
Okay.
Like 5 times out of 6, they've got an agent that they're actively working with
Right.
who referred them to that open house in the first place. That's why they're there.
Did you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's what's my biggest concern. I mean, I get that like door knocking is the big lead generation tool. And the open house is the means to get that conversation going.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's an open house for a reason. We're trying to sell the house and getting their information. Clearly, these people are here for a reason. So
Yeah.
they're the most likely thing to want to buy a house at all.
Right.
But it's tricky when you can't use any of those,
right.
possible contacts.
And the other thing is, ask them, who's your agent?
I
'Cause-
do ask that too.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
cause a lot of people will say, oh, I have an agent. You know, you go to RC Willie's, hey, can I help you? Oh, no, I'm just looking, you know what I mean?
I already
So-
have a phone plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even ask
Oh.
if they're working with the agent. I just say which agent are you working.
do you, after they say that they have an agent? Okay, so you
Yeah,
just,
I just say, so which agent are you guys working? And they'll say, oh, such and such, like name. Okay, well, which firm does he work with? And then if they're like, oh, what's his name? Who is this guy? Then I'm kind of like,
yeah,
all right, we can talk,
Yeah.
there's a chance that you're not working with somebody because clearly you're not very invested in him to begin with.
right.
So that's kind of where I get that.
Well, and I'll ask them to sign in, and I just tell them, I says, you know what? Go ahead and sign in, the sellers just wanna know who's coming through their home.
Which
Easy,
is fair.
yes, easy, so then they, oh, okay. And then they say, oh, well, we're already working with Jen Simpson, I'm like, perfect, will you put her name on there? And then after the open house, I follow back up with Jen and say, hey, Susie just came through, she says she's working with you, I just wanna let you know which house she just came. Because then you're following back up with them, she's gonna go call Susie, talk to her, get the feedback and call me back. So, what other questions do we have?
Um, I liked having someone with me, so I actually just grabbed my daughter.
Yeah.
A, for safety, but,
Buddy
B, too, cause you're hoping you've got foot traffic, right?
Right.
And I was thinking, to kind of help be able to talk to everybody, so that seemed to work well to have somebody with you.
Mm-hmm. You can get a lender, lenders pretty much love being there. Cause then they're like, oh, perfect, they'll go door knocking with you, I had a lender that would do everything with me, and if I was going on a showing by myself, I would literally let him know, hey, I'm meeting so and so, let's just say Matthew, because that's the first name come in my head, I'm meeting Matthew so and so at this time at this house, and he'd be like, okay, and I'd give him the list of what houses we were going to. He would call me in 20 minutes, and I would just answer the phone, and he's like, hey, what's for dinner? And I'm like, oh, pineapple. And he's like, okay, you're good. And he'd hang up the phone. But if he knew that that was the code word, and it was like, okay. So when you get there, shoot a license plate picture. I mean, before you go inside, safety first, like, just know, buddy system, we can do home inspectors, lenders, your daughter, another agent. The first time, so Kenzie's been licensed almost 3 years. And I was having knee surgery when she was doing her very first open house by herself. And my son, he was about 18 at the time, he went and sat with her. He went and got coffee and he went and sat with her. So just so she felt comfortable. So, but yeah, so buddy system is good. Always team up with someone. Let someone know when you're gonna be there, which time you're gonna be done. If you're running a little bit late, you can send a text. You can have them call and say pineapple, whatever. Have a buddy system within our company too. Like we'd love to help if there's like, hey, I'm gonna be showing this house, will you just check on me in an hour? Okay. So any of us would be willing to be there for you. So if you don't have listings because you're new, or even if you just, sometimes we have 1 listing, 2 listings, sometimes we have 3 or 4, and then sometimes we don't have any listings, So And even myself, like I'll go through periods where I'll have a lot, and then I'm like, hey Jen, do you have a listing I can sit at? So use us, because like this weekend I have two and I can't be in two places at one time. So I am like, hey, I just got that new listing and looking for someone to hold it open. So you just have to, just know that we have a lot of agents, we have a lot of listings, and I'm sure any one of us would say yes to it. So, and then just give feedback and be polite. I've had, I had one agent do an open house, and they had cameras, and everybody has cameras now, guys. Back when I started, there was no such thing as a doorbell camera. Now, when you're walking up to the house, don't say bad curb appeal, or don't say, every agent thinks this house is overpriced. Whatever that is, keep it in your. And I tell my clients, we'll talk about it. We'll do a scale of 1 to 10. We're not gonna anything negative. I was on camera once, and it was my painter that was listing the house, and the painter he did an interesting job on my house. But I noticed when we were in there that he's obviously a real estate agent, and he was the same painter. And my clients are like, well, did he do a good job? And I'm like, well, he did okay. He's doing good. No big deal. Had I talked negative, I found out he was watching us on camera in the trailer. And
That is
so,
a
which is a
huge
driveway, huh?
That is a huge thing in showing houses too, like, tell your buyers, don't say a word,
Mm-hmm.
until we're,
Out.
and we'll not even out it. Get in
They're
your car and call
doing it.
me.
Yeah, yeah, because they're still listening when you're on the street. They can still hear it. So, yeah,
I've had my sellers tell me, they're really interested, you're gonna get a call. Okay, stop listening, please stop
Yeah.
listening.
I had one and I'll never forget it. I was super embarrassed. Okay, so I didn't realize we were showing my best friends when I was a little girl, like all the way up till way after we were married. We were best friends, and then we kind of lost touch for a little bit. And so it's her oldest daughter. And I didn't realize, because they're all from Salt Lake, so I didn't realize they would be in Ogden. And I only seen a picture, and that's why I knew it was her. So we get to the front door, and my kids, not my kids, but my client's kid, sees a cat. And he's like, the only good thing about a cat is a dead one. And I'm like, oh, we don't say that. Then I get inside, and she has a very neat name. It was Jaleese. So we get inside, and I'm like, I bet that's Kim's daughter. And I'm like, oh, if Kim heard that, or her kids heard that, it would devastate them. They didn't take the offer because of it. So watch what you see. So, yeah, anyway, that was totally off the script, but,
Good lesson.
right? So, open houses don't really work because most people look online. They're looking online to find the open houses. They need your help. They need you. So yes, they're finding things online. I mean, we give them an app, AW app. We want them to look online. You know what I mean? So they do work. You just have to, you can't just do the open house. You have to do the full week of it. So anyway, know the times of what's going on in the neighborhood. Weber County, we had one that was right next door to the school. So we held it open on Wednesdays, they're early out, so we did 1:30 to 3:30 and held it open. So all of the moms going to get their kids seen it. So know that if you're by a park, it might be like soccer season or football season. Hold it open during that time. I've noticed like Wednesdays have always been days that have worked. I always like find Wednesdays to work really well. Saturdays work really well. We're in Utah, Sunday's a hit and miss. It could work really beneficial. We did a builder that we had. And so Sundays we would go and put like a sign on the door. He ran an errand. I only lived around the street, around the corner. Run an errand, call me and I'll be right there. Or whatever, you know. So we had a few that would come on Sundays. Snow Your Market, like around the country, they could do wine and cheese and do that. Wine and cheese just probably won't work as well in Utah, you know, so just know your market, know what's going on in the community.
What days did you say, Wednesdays were a good one?
Wednesdays and Saturdays have always been my best time. In the summertime, a Thursday, because people are going out of town on Friday,
Okay.
so Thursdays work really well. What have you found? Is there times that you feel like?
It's, you have to just watch the neighborhood for one.
Yes.
Depending on the neighborhood, wine and cheese will work, but have a non-alcoholic. Like, what are those?
Oh, Welch's grape juice.
Yeah, they have non-alcoholic options.
Yeah.
I know that Christy and Alex did the wine and cheese. They did really well.
Oh, I bet. That was
Yeah.
really great.
Just depends.
Chris did too when he first started, because he makes his own wine.
I think. One, know your audience. And
Yeah.
know who's around and talk to your seller. Just ask, like, how's the neighborhood? They'll tell you, like, everybody here will. And then
Yeah. I have a sheet. I don't know if it's in here, but it just says 10, your favorite 10 things are in the neighborhood, your favorite 10 things in the house. So you could have those.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, neighborhood is good. Like I said, if there's schools, I haven't tested this one out, but maybe like during church times, like in between like one church, I don't know. So just know what the market is where you're at. Let's see, so I'm gonna set a house on Saturday, Monday, I'm gonna, decide what the house is. And then I'm gonna do the market research around that house to see what's the average sales price, what's the average, like what's going on in that neighborhood? How close is it to the school? How close is it to the freeway? How close is it to shopping? The hospital? I mean, people are gonna kind of wanna know that. If you've known the area, so I have one in my mom and dad's old, neighborhood right now, and so I can tell them that I went to church there many years ago, you know what I mean, and I can say I know a lot of the neighbors still, because they haven't moved, they've all been the exact same. But we're sending someone to church on Sunday just because that's what he wants to know. He wants to know, he's like, I'm in a really richy snobby neighborhood right now, and I want to be in one that's like accepting. And I was like, oh, well, that's good. So me knowing the neighbors was kind of a good thing. That's where door knocking comes in too, because then you can ask the neighbors, what do they like about it? What, I'm kind of jumping all over this, but we'll get all of this stuff in. But so you can ask the neighbors, you know, why did they move there? What's their favorite thing? We found out that there was, down in Daybreak, we were looking at some houses for one of my clients that don't drive. And we found out by talking to the neighbors, talking to the HOA, that kind of stuff, that they do have like a whole bunch of girls get together, single widowed girls get together and they have lunch every day. they do craft, the HOA puts on craft, so just because of her, she's widowed, she doesn't drive, she wants to be in a community like that. So will she pay that HOA? Yeah, you know, just to be in that community. So just kind of know what's going on in the neighborhood, because, I mean, the seller gave us great information. Had we not, you know, talked to different people, we wouldn't. So, and then you're always on addition. So, when you're door knocking, way you present yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you act, the knowledgeable, you know, if there's a park over there, that's Emma Russell Park, or, you know that stuff. They'll tell you too, hey, what's your favorite thing? Oh, I love the walking trail. You know, okay, how big long's the walking trail? You know what I mean? Just, they want to know that you are, knowledgeable. So, and then when buyers come into the open house, they want to just know that they don't really want to know anything about you. They just want to see the house. And they're kind of trying to stay in a no pressure, you know what I mean? So you want to have like, start the conversation. So before, like make a list of what are people going to ask me about this house? And even the one in my parents' old neighborhood, the guy stumped me twice, the buyer. He asked me what was the place up the street from him, and I honestly had no idea. And so I was like, well, that's interesting. And so I went and researched it, found out, and then he wanted to know how many houses were being built across the street, and I didn't have that information. I do now, though. 121 houses will be built across the street. So knowing that, and they're on 0.08 of an acre, but his house is 4 stories. So just knowing that, well, you've actually door knocked around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lot.
yeah, yep, and it's finally almost over.
Finally almost over.
Yes.
Yeah, the first lady that I talked to, Kathy Winkleman, she was talking about construction has been going on for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I was like, do you guys have any first done?
yeah.
So that for
Well, it was supposed to open on the 14th. It opened on the 13th, closed on the 14th, and I drove past there today. So, yeah. There may be some little bits of road construction, but it won't be like completely, so that's good. So, good. You guys looked in the shift book, you guys know what that is? So Gary Keller has put together, books and whatnot. So in the shift book, this was, 08, I think is when he published it, something like that. It might have been a little bit later. But anyway, on page 70 and 71, it has all of the open house activities to do a 7th level activity, or a 7th level open house. So you're gonna, you can get a list of the neighborhood and make phone calls on Monday. That was the, anyway, so you'll want to do like different checklists of what to do. So door knocking, open houses. You want to probably talk to at least 100 people that week, around it. You'll want to have 10+ open house signs. So like get a map and mark the ways in. That's why I did a whole bunch of open house signs around here, because one way is not going to bring everybody. So there's going to be 3 or 4 ways in. So if you have 10+ open house signs, Dalton last week, he had over 20 open house signs. And I get a phone call from my daughter, and she's like, Dalton's doing an open house. And I'm like, he is? And he was doing it for Kaylee Miller. And she's like, yeah, his signs are everywhere. So if you have your signs out everywhere and people see them, they are automatically think you're the professional. So I am actually having stickers for all of my open house signs that have my name bigger. So she just haven't got those done yet.
Do you have your phone around your?
Yes. Well, right now, yes, I do. But look how tiny it is. It's still there, but it's gonna be more gold. The same lady that does these and does my welcome sign. She put them on there, so I'm like.
If a sign falls down or it's turned, people will call you. My
Mhm.
number's on mine, but. You guys are gonna.
Do-
People are gonna remember your face way before they recognize your name.
Yep.
So my face is on my.
And I have been thinking about that a lot. So Dalton's are all over his
Where do
too.
you get your, signs that?
So now now I get them from. Oh, like utilities or.
What's it costing? Is it about that size or are they bigger?
Those
So
are
they
20.
come with the junkie. Thing, the.
Oh, yeah.
thing that's on there.
That's what these do too.
Okay, so. Not that expensive.
Mhm.
Honestly, they were like, I mean, like, it wasn't just a deal, it was like. 10. Quite a bit,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, you get 5 times. I wanna say, I can find out for sure, I mean,
Oh, okay, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
kind of curious, what it was versus. the
Yeah.
other.
I got. For those and I went through and decided I would get rid of all of the Christian signs. They don't work on, like. Your concrete or in a gravel area.
Yeah.
And they do fall over. I do have, sandbags. That I take around, especially on windy days, so they don't get blown over. My best friend had hers and she was over on 4800. And it got blown over and people were driving around it. So I stopped, grabbed it, put it back up. And we decided we were making that back up next week. So,
Yeah, you don't wanna be causing an accident or car damage, right?
right, well, and the signs, they're an investment, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't want them to be,
Yeah,
so. But I do like the face on them, and I think all of my yard signs with grizzly graphics was like $250 for 10 of them. So they're not expensive. So, so open houses are the best way to get leads and the cheapest. Besides, phone calls and stuff like that. But your expenses on an open house is your balloons, treats, water bottles, flyers, and just the time. So, I mean, on any given one, you could have 0 on the first week of the summer, so it's like June. What was that like? I don't know. Anyway, the first week of summer was the first week in June. Not the first, it was next week, so the 8th. We didn't have anybody, but the house, the last 5 weeks has had 5 to 8 couples every time. So, I mean, it's been really good. And so sometimes you're not gonna have anybody. The other thing to do well, so in mine, I either have like things come popping by, I'll do that, I'll do something to make them remember you, ring pops. Again, that's things for popping by, we've done cookies, like just different things just to get them to remember you. Popsicles we've done on hot days. So I'll have those, each one of them usually has a little thing on it. I have the music, so just something simple playing in the background. I do have cards, because once they come in, I want to have a thank you card. If they've given me their address, the thank you card goes out in the mail. So I always have thank you card here. Let's see what she has. So. She's got. Oh, cute. Earplugs, so probably for. They don't listen to everyone else, especially your neighbor who used to be a real estate agent, your friend who bought the house and sold it last year, or. A lot of people listen to somebody who's only bought one house. It's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, that's really cute. Keychains with her name on it. Oh, I do actually have little keychains. I have them, they have little houses that are made out of the same material as those. I was using, metal ones, and the lady, she's like, I'll just make them for you. Cost me like 6 cents a piece, so it was cheaper to, and so now I just put them out. If I have one in here, what they do, I'll just put them out and let them take them as, my business card. I have my business cards too, but, I mean, cheap, inexpensive, you can send them to your kids' class and whatnot. Anyway, so she's got bubbles in here, she's got breath mints, that's always a good one. I have another basket that I have toilet paper and soap and, air fresheners, in case, you never know. Candles, I've been, I put it out. I get nervous with those just because it is fire does burn. See what else should I didn't look at her basket first. Okay, so yeah, so she has tape. You always need tape, stapler. Best. Oh, that was the other thing. So back to the schedule. So Monday you go and do the, figure out the house, do the research. Tuesday, put it on your social media. Wednesday, you're gonna put it back on your social media. I door knock Thursdays or Fridays because I want them to remember it. And when I go to their house, kept my number, and yeah, I followed up with her. What set me apart from everybody else is just that we had a great conversation. I had my lender with me. She's now retired, but yeah, so use your resources. You have lots of them. Oh, and then, so I door knock Thursday and Friday. And then it's all about the prep, working up to it. Today I went over, we're doing one on Saturday. I went over and hung the sign that just says open Saturday. We're doing 9:30 to 12:30 because the parade's right down the street. We're gonna, yep. So, what's your ahas from here?
Running down that script.
Oh, yeah, do, yep.
So, cause I got late started on your schedule, what do you do on Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday, so Monday I pick the house and research it.
Oh, okay.
So, because the buyers, if they know more than you do about it, they're like, hey, wait.
Yeah,
And then, Tuesday, put it on your social media, Wednesday, put it on your social media. You're gonna do social media every single day after you pick the house. So you get the foot traction that you want. You can put it on all of the Facebook, Weaver County, Davis County, yard sales, Weaver County, Davis, yard sales, like everything until they boot you off. And I I'd never pay attention to it. That I'm
And we get in so many groups, we can't pay attention to all the rules.
right. They'll tell you when you break them.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then you break them and then you go, oh, sorry. And they've already taken them off, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters. It matters. Okay, set goals. What are you wanting to get out of this open house? So how many leads do you want to get? How many, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want? Because just because you went and talked to all these people, they're probably not gonna come. And they may know, like with Lori, I helped her 2 years later and done over 30 deals with her since. So you never know what that one person talking to is gonna end up being. So, yeah. But they're probably one of my bestest friends now. So, and then make your goals so they don't overwhelm you. That's a big thing. And yes, we have big goals. So yes, but you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. So make sure you're not overwhelming yourself. Because it could get overwhelming. You know, and don't beat yourself up if you don't put 15 people in your data bank every day. Don't beat yourself up. Because you might only get 5 today, but tomorrow you're gonna get 30. You know what I mean? So don't beat yourself up. Have big goals, big dreams. So, yeah.
So while you're on that path, don't watch other real estate agents, like watch them to learn from them, but don't be like the whole FOMO.
Yeah,
I think that's how we get down on ourselves, is because we're like, well, this person has 4 listings, what am I doing wrong? I'm not doing anything wrong,
mm-mm.
I think they just did something different,
Follow the rule.
yeah.
Don't look at their outsides. And compare your insides.
Right, and most people only have good things on social media, like, that are praising things, they're not saying like, hey, it's a crappy month.
Yeah. Well, it's like you put on social media, you'll take 8 pictures and how many do you put on? 1, if that. And then you're editing it and it's like, no, they want you raw. They want to know who you are.
Well, and I can definitely tell that this, profession, you know, there's so many different levels. People have been here a gazillion years, been there, done that, like, you can't compare, like, just coming in,
Yeah.
you know, and even someone who's experienced, we all have different things going on in our lives, like
Yeah.
right now my mom's in the hospital, and so like,
Right.
there's life happens for everybody. And so, yeah, I can kind of, you just kind of have to go with it, but that's very key. I caught myself very early on in this, like, feeling like I had to like, not
I wanna
compete,
be
but
you.
like I felt
Yeah.
like I needed to achieve certain things by a certain time, and it's like, no, but that's what I like with Keller Williams though, is that everybody's so helpful, and I have never felt like a negative competitive
Right.
vibe here.
Well, last month in our ALC, us agents were talking and we got really real, didn't we, Jen? We got so real in it, like we all have times that we're like, what in the hell is going on? You know what I mean? Like it's all up here between your ears. What are you thinking? If you change your mindset, things will change. And I've watched it over and over and over and over. I went through the crash of 2008 and 2007 when you're sitting in closings and all the banks are closed and you're like, what the heavens? Next day we're in a closing again, the bank closes. Same person the next day, the bank closes. So that was a hard market. And honestly, we made it through it. We made it through all of the hard market, and then we're into another market. 2020 was my favorite. Like, It was so much fun. People were staying home, staying safe. Well, I changed my mindset. I didn't believe it. Okay, it was there, it was happening, but in here, it was not happening. I was coaching a lot of agents, two really high top producers. I'm not a high top producer. I have fun, I enjoy it, do my thing. I'm not doing 200 a year. So this one, she wouldn't even go out. She was like, no way. She's like, I'm not doing giveaways. I'm saving my money. Like, I'm not doing this. It's no. And I coached her for a few minutes. And next day she's like, thanks, Steph. She's like, I'm back. I'm like, okay, cool. And she's running a huge team right now. The other one, her daughters were going to this really bad school. Like, before that, she had her daughter came home with a pill. And she's like, what is going on? Well, she didn't want to be around this one girl anymore. So the girl got upset, took it to her mom, blah, 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 ended up a huge drama. But it was a good thing that she was able to get out of that school. And her baby was 5, was a preemie. And so she's like, I can't go out. He's gonna just get sick. He was a preemie, he was on oxygen for 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, come on, let's talk about it. So I tell her, you have 2 minutes to tell me everything that you need to tell me about why the market's bad. And then I'm gonna pick back up the phone. I wasn't listening to it. So I'm gonna pick back up the phone and you have to change your attitude. She was like, I hate you. I'm like, I know. So that was in April. By June, she had sold her house and bought a new house. So yeah, it's all between here. She had 4 listings within a week and she'd got, I don't even remember, quite a few buyers. So remember, it's just between here. So as long as, I think that's probably my biggest, what do you think? Out of everything you can think of in real estate. So I did my best that year than I've ever done. So yeah. So this kind of just goes back to knowing your market. If you're going to do an open house, where do you want to do it? Do you want to do it close by? Is that your niche? Is your niche into like the $1 million? Feel comfortable wherever you're at. So if you have a hard time talking to people that have a ton of money, ask yourself questions. Get comfortable with all of the questions you think they're gonna ask you. Like, write a list and yeah, do that, because every question that they're gonna ask you, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Hey, will you just write your phone number down? I'm gonna talk to my broker after we're done and I'm gonna get back to you. Is that okay? Okay. And they probably already wrote their number. If they really didn't, and I've actually seen this happen a few weeks back, they had wrote a number on there and then they came over to me and talking to me. And I'm like, hey, I can send you that information if you'd like. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And so she starts looking at the house. She comes back and you can see her change her phone number. And I was like, you're giving me your old boyfriend's number. I got it. I got you. I've done that. It's fine. So know the location, what's gonna fit into your, would I do an open house in Orem? No. I can refer that out. Would I take a listing in Orem? Could possibly take it if I have a buyer's agent down there. Would you agree? So I don't know that market so well. It would be better if I, referred it to somebody else. So the other thing to know is we've got a computer right here at our fingertips. If you wanna know any information, you can go to the MLS, you can go to the, commerce, what's the first part of that?
Sorry, what was your, what was it?
Like where you could research information, commerce, somebody, yeah, anyway, I'll get to it in a minute.
It's not chamber, right?
Chamber, yeah, Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
that will tell you all of the geographics, how many people are in like per household. If you wanna know what like the average earnings are in that neighborhood, if you want, like you can get everything, you don't have to go to the library. Back in my day, you had to go to the library. We had a. Yeah, Expedia, now you got .com, so it's fine. Grocery stores, shopping, what's close to that, parks, just know that, if there's, something going on across the street, the roads are closed, so you haven't been that way.
Some people have asked, fire especially, what's the crime rate? We can't get it
Yep.
Oh, really?
now, so you tell them like,
Oh,
you need to research that on your own.
Mhm.
They say like, we said that, we can't do that, so you have to tell them to do their own research about the crime rate and then that side of the neighborhood, but we can tell them the demographics and stuff like that.
Mhm. And that's also in the, buyer due diligence, if they have concerns about that. I mean, it's all over public, it's public record. Take it, John. Title companies, I haven't asked, actually, I was thinking about this today when I was, doing this. We used to get a neighborhood geographic thing from the title companies. I don't know if they can still do that. But I would just set it on the countertop. Once I got the listing, I'd set it on the countertop. And when we'd have showings, they could look through it and it would tell you like the schools, how many kids were attended that school, what other schools are close by, like charter schools and oh my gosh, Christian academies and stuff like that. So you can find that out. You can do your own, you can have it by a title company. So I'm gonna
Some
actually.
lenders do have a book that
Mhm.
they'll send you and you can leave that on the counter. They do have like the school, how many houses in the area. Can't remember what that's on. Probably shopping, entertainment stuff.
Yeah. I will call when she's doing hers, I'll call my title lady and see if they have it, and if so, I'll have her send it to all of us. We have a finance sheet-ish somewhere. So if you guys are interested. The other thing is a lot of us have a coffee habit, so know what the coffee shops are around there. And I didn't until last year. My daughter got me stuck on coffee, so I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Average price in the neighborhood. Think about how long the house has been on the market. That's another thing too, like we have one and it was the road closed. And it's been closed, like you said, for 3 years. So people have asked, how busy is it gonna be? Every time I drove out there, even during rush hour traffic, there's not anybody on it. So,
You guys have me thinking now. So there's the house that I did a listing at, sorry,
no, you're good.
the owners, he died, he had a heart attack. He died in the home, and so that's why.
You don't have to.
You don't
disclose that.
disclose
But they asked me point blank, like cause it ends up being a neighbor who
Yeah.
bought the home. But like, what can and can't you say? Like, if they point blank say, hey, I heard the neighbor died in this house.
You need to ask the family.
if
Okay,
you can disclose
if
that.
you can
Yeah,
disclose it.
because like, I had one that, one of the kids that committed suicide, well, that's bad, you can't.
Right, right.
And same, like,
This ended up being an investment company that purchased it, remodeled it. So it wasn't actually the owners
family.
anymore. Yeah, the mother had passed and then now the son had passed. So, but you just got me thinking
You
about
could
that when you
just
said the
send 'em
crime rate.
to-
I thought, what
Yeah.
do you do? So you.
Call
yeah,
the city,
Okay,
yeah, have them call the city.
Okay.
So I would just,
either that or. Seller,
Yeah.
some people don't care,
yeah.
some people do.
I just don't wanna violate any rules and get in trouble.
you know
Just made
what,
me
say
think
that's
about
a
that.
great question, let me ask them,
Okay,
and
Yeah.
then you can go,
okay,
that way it defers it.
yeah,
Well, even
And-
when you're doing your your listing appointment, whatever you're doing. just say- Did you know the situation before?
I did. I happened to
Okay.
be privy to it and knew,
So then,
he was in the house like a week before. But it was
then
like,
ask, like, can we just, when you found out, like, can we disclose that, like. Why or whatever. What's the case?
Yeah, if not, they can just call the city, have them call the sheriff or the, Yeah.
Or they, well, I guess we can't Google it.
it was just kind of,
Yeah.
you know, they were just asking more out of curiosity. But
right,
anyway, you just, when you started talking crime rate, and then it just started making me think.
Well, so
I've had
I'll
that
just tell you a story about when I was buying a house. Years ago, we walked into a house in West Point. It was in West Point. Anyway. Looking around, I got a weird vibe. Like this, it's a weird vibe. So my agent later on, closed the listing. He might have told that. He said, well, we're gonna say this, but was a kid that murdered his two little brothers in the house, and then he took off, like he was mentally, remember that?
I do
So
remember
he
that.
took off walking, anyway. That was the house. She did disclose it, so that she didn't have to. But anyway, it's the same thing.
Stage.
Next door to
A
my
lot of it.
grandparents, the lady was a cop and she had two younger kids and she worked graveyards, and so she came home, usually the kids just like, she'd sleep on the couch, kids would play, you know, no big deal. And one day she always put her gun away, always, and she left her gun out, and the little boys were playing with it and one shot the other. And that rang sort of my grandparents, and I'm like, so.
There's stuff like that happens probably more than you realize.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, don't get discouraged though. That's the
Right.
biggest thing of this whole thing, is just don't get discouraged.
Yeah,
It's easy to do, but again, it's what's in between.
and it's like fumbling, you know, it's like everybody has their first time, right, with everything, and it's not gonna go perfect, and so. Guess that's what I just keep telling myself too, is it doesn't feel supernatural yet, or, and it's okay.
And it's
You
okay.
don't have to be perfect, it's okay.
No. The other thing is when they come in, don't bombard them. Hey, thanks for coming in. Go ahead and take a look at the house. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll follow back up with you. And I kind of give them a few minutes to get their guard down. Oh, he's not gonna be a pushy salesperson.
Yeah,
So give them a minute and then ask them, hey, you know, whatever's going on. So one of the things I was listening to today, they said, if it's football season and it's getting ready to Super Bowl, thank you. I'm like that thing, you know,
Yeah,
the big
big
thing. He says that he'll turn on the game and he'll just leave the game on silent, but so people come in and they're like, oh, it's a conversation starter. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't be that great because I don't know football at all, except for when Kenzie was dancing drill and I knew the kids out there. It was fun. My god kids, I'll go watch them who have an idea of what it is now. So that might not be the best thing for me, you know?
You still have it on and
Yeah.
said, I just turned it on for you. I knew you were coming.
So, you know, whatever you can do to make it calm, peaceful. And like I said, I turned this on, it hooks up to my phone. That way I don't have to leave my phone on the counter with music playing. And if they stole this, that's why it was free.
Nice.
Fine. You know, so I've never had anything stolen, so knock on wood, you never have a problem till I have a problem. But that being said, I always ask my sellers to put away their valuables out of sight, out of mind. Anything from prescriptions, I didn't realize how big prescriptions are. So prescriptions, jewelry, any laptops, anything that could walk off, out of sight, out of mind. I don't care if it's in a box all the way underneath your bed. You know, whatever it is, put it in a safe, get rid of it, don't have it here. I don't wanna be reliable for it, so out of sight, out of mind. So, yeah, just think of
That's
a
good
great.
thing for your buddy too. So it's watch doors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing like that.
Mhm. And when I've done it with lenders, I'll have like, I had one lender, he could talk to anybody, like it didn't matter. He was a redneck from Louisiana and he made sure everybody knew it, but he was easy to talk to, easy to communicate. To have an open house with him, I didn't have to do anything because he's already got the conversation going and he's making you look like a rock star. It's perfect. So having somebody there when you get there, okay, so I'm gonna jump a little bit. When you get there, when you're turning lights on, unlocking doors, make sure that it's safe. Like, have somebody on the phone while you're walking through the house, especially when it's vacant. I still do that. Like my son, we were out of town when my house flooded. My son went over there and he's like, "Hey, I'm walking in the house. I want you to be on the phone with me." I'm like, "Dude, it's your house." Like, not now. He moved out. And so he's walking through the house where we're on the phone at 1:30 in the morning. And he felt comfortable that way. He turned the alarm off, but he felt comfortable knowing that somebody was on the phone. So.
Now that we're mostly done with this, did you want me to put your slides?
Oh, I don't know. No, it's fine. I didn't even know there was
I'm
like,
like, oh,
sorry guys. Fine. When they sign in, oh, so let's talk just a little bit more about safety. Okay, so in October is Realtor Safety Month. The board puts on Realtor Safety, go to it. I mean, it's great. And you would think that women were the most assaulted at open houses. And around the country, it's actually not the truth.
Really?
So, yes.
Interesting.
So just so you know, like, just be aware. So when you go through, talk to somebody, open the doors, look around, make sure that it's safe, open the back door, open the basement door. So you have several opportunities to get out. We've had where people have came in, Kenzie's been with one client, I've been with the other. People come in, we're like, "Hey, go ahead and look around, we'll be with you in just a few minutes. Hey, can you sign in too, just so my sellers know that, you know, who came through?" And they'll sign in. You can use QR codes. I did one up, and nobody really signed into that, even though I asked them the same thing. So you can use them, around the world, people use them all the time. Matt Green says he uses it and he just tells them, "Hey, I'm gonna send you my 14 ways of buying a house or 14 steps to buying a house or whatever that looks like. Hey, I'm providing free market analysis today for anybody that signs in. So give them a reason to sign in. Sorry. Be creative and not about commission. So if you are Willies or the car salesman, they're not gonna talk to you, but if you are just, hey, come in, enjoy, look around, have some cookies, grab some popcorn, thanks for popping by, whatever you want to use. I've actually seen the popcorn used like 3 or 4 times in the last month. I was like, hey, that's funny, we use that too. And then let's see, so we talked about that. Hello, sweet girl. Hi. So time to pick, pick the time and the theme that you're gonna do. So here it says Thursday night and happy hour, wine and cheese for the open house, or Sunday afternoons. So if that's what is best, that's driving the most traffic, I don't know. Sundays to me haven't worked. However, I think if you did it by a church and you get all the people that walk home. I don't know. Try it. So, talked about that. Play with the times of, whatever the neighborhood is looking like, and then do it around soccer games, football games, and yeah, prepare. Let's talk about that. No, so I'm like, woo, oh, chambers of commerce. The school districts are another one that you can find on that. Recreation stuff, then they just talk about like the school, how far that is, how far we talked about all of that. We kind of jumped ahead a little bit. So agent safety, we just kind of talked about that. Arrive a little early so you can check your surrounding areas. You want all the lights on. The worst thing is when you go into a home and you're trying to like find lights, and people are next to you and you're like, yeah, this goes to nothing. Oh yeah, it goes to the outlet. You know what I mean? So make sure you arrive early. All of the extra exits and entrances, your phone, make sure that's fully charged in case you need it. This one, like I said, I was kind of the COVID guidelines. I check your guidelines to see what that is, if there is even, it's not really anymore, but and then if there was trust your instincts. So if you don't feel comfortable about the situation, you figure out what you can, do to get out. So agents are helping agents, we help each other. So yeah. Now we'll get to aha, because agents help agents. What's your aha in that section?
The biggest thing is, not being pushy,
Mhm.
like, just cause I hate to feel like I'm being played or worked or whatever, and I think that's pretty much the general feeling for all people.
Yeah.
So it seemed to go well when I did mine too, where they came in, I just greeted them, introduced who I was, but then said, hey, I don't wanna hover, you look around, if you have any questions, let me know, and then I kind of backed off.
Yeah.
And then when they did come around, I was very just kind of back offish and then just said, hey, is there a favorite part of this home that you liked, just to try to, or what was your favorite feature, or what did you like about it? Just kind of talk. So that seemed to go well. Right. So we said that resonated, that it was good. And then the open house signs, because I did drive by the neighborhood actually multiple times trying to figure out where are the entrance points and where would be a good place for the signs. And it was interesting, a couple of weeks prior, I had been driving around and someone had done an open house and they were literally like this big a sign.
I know which
basically.
side you're talking about.
Just, and I had been, and you could hardly see it, and I
Yeah.
thought, I just, out of curiosity as an agent, is it okay to go to another open house?
Of course.
And so I hoped it was, and
Mhm.
but
Your excuse
literally,
is, I'm walking through for a potential fire.
yes, yes. And so I thought, well, but I honestly, this is how not marked it was. I drove and I am in front of the house, not even knowing, am I even in front of the right house?
Yeah.
It was just so dark, and then you walked in the house and it was just really dark. It just was interesting, not the vibe that I would have expected
Right.
for an open house. And so,
Open
anyways, yeah, I think that's a big deal.
So open houses with the balloon, I was gonna do balloons and I'm like, they won't stay up for Saturday. But anyway, so make sure your signs are very bold, like they're ready to go. You don't want to get lost going to your. So you can even go to the MLS and click on the address. They'll pull up a map. You can go, okay, I want it this way, this way.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
the Google Maps is really good about like. the
Okay.
entrance points and stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
You can print it too.
flags, banners. Some of us have those in Florida.
Yep. I was gonna put mine up out here, but it's in the car. It's like, yeah. So,
The banner I had, and it fell down, but I did notice, like, I think I need to bring a hammer or something, cause
Yeah.
like, I definitely could not get that. And I just ordered it off the Amazon, just very basic.
you can customize them for like $20.
Oh, can you?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I customized mine and my husband's.
Oh,
So-
okay.
It's super easy to do.
But I do like the idea of what you're talking about, of kind of having it, whether it's a tote or whatever, that you just label it your open houses.
Mhm.
And those are where you just kind of keep your basics of stuff.
Yeah.
That it's helpful, yeah, cause like something on the counter, or you want to quickly wipe something off.
Oh, yeah. I went and done Milton Homes, but they'll let you do open houses for them. And you'll go in there and you're like, bring chairs. Like,
Oh, okay.
I ran home, grabbed a broom and swept because it was bad. So I swept, I wiped the counters off. So our job's not just real estate, guys.
I think the only thing in my open house thing is. There's a couple things. I've got scissors,
Like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
one of those universal tools.
Yep.
Oh,
That you can plug open a screwdriver or whatever, and then. Flashlight.
Flashlights are good. Flashlights are good even for showing houses.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have, everybody has one on their phone. Having an actual.
Allison had a really great idea that she talked about, and even in this house that we had, it was a simple thing that I didn't think it would be necessary, but she does like special feature signs in the home. So like this particular home was older. We don't really have them much now with the laundry chute, and it was like in the spare bedroom. But I did lock it from the laundry room.
Is that it?
Yeah, probably, cause I was like, I didn't want a kid like
Falling in it?
because it was literally just a hole, but like, so I pointed that out and people thought it was cool,
Yeah.
in a cupboard, they might not know there's special organization something in it, and
Yeah.
so I really did like that.
And so if there's something like great, I have them, put that. I've also have that on the counter with the 10 best things that they like about their house and their neighborhood. I'll have that on there too.
Find something in the house. Conversation starter.
Yeah.
The vehicle. Hey,
Yeah, remember what
there's
we
a thing down there, like you get
Mhm.
the attention.
Yeah.
Then when they come up, did you find it?
Right?
Just things to talk about.
In the house I have right now is the pantry, like it's a one level, but the pantry is super cool. And the light turns on automatically and, oh yeah, people love that. Okay, yeah, so, I know. So the difference between good and great is just a little extra effort. They have a bigger quote, but I won't read that. So practice your scripts, put a little music, before you go. So Kenzie laughs at me, but mine's the Eye of the Tiger. So as I get to the house, that's what's jamming. Before I go on the Zoom appointment, that's what's jamming. And she's like, hey, mom, you're a nerd. But the first time she was just sitting there going, really? We don't listen to this music, but you have the Eye of the Tiger on. Yeah. The other ones that are fun is like Lose Yourself
Next
by
time.
Eminem.
Next time she's at a clothing store. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then I Am a Champion is another one that's a fun one. You can use whatever makes you like your mindset, whatever makes you laugh or makes you have that energy. Mine was my old assistant. She passed away in 06, but she literally, like, ours was the Eye of the Tiger every time we go to a listing appointment. And so that's ours. So, let's see. Okay, so they did the whole Monday, select a house, Tuesday, post online, walk the neighborhood, Wednesday, post online. Oh, correct. Open house sign. So Saturday, did I say that already? I might have, but put that on a few days before. So then that way people that are driving by see, oh, that house is gonna be open on Saturday. So, and then let's so we kind of got all the way to the open house. I'm running out of time, so I'm just gonna kind of go through it. Just don't vomit on them. Don't give them too much information, because that's bad. And then commission breath is bad. After the open house, send them a thank you card for coming. If you get just their email, send them a quick email. Hey, thanks so much for coming. Yada yada, it was good to see you. Your brand new daughter was so cute. Whatever that looks like, bring it back to them. Then the other thing we do, is we call them and then put them in your database. So those are what you want to do. And then follow back up with them. Like, hey, I know you guys came through last week. And you guys really liked the house. We do have one that we're working on right now. When you were there, you had said that your house was gonna be listed on the 19th. Have you got that listed yet? And then find out, oh yeah, and how's your mom doing? I know she's been in the hospital. Like, get them to open up, because now you're not just that salesperson that was at that house that we've seen. So now you have a little bit of rapport with them. And then invite them to your next open house. If you do another one there, invite them, because they may come. They may go to church the next week. You never know. But you can get all that information too. Go find out Catholic or LDS or whatever, pull it up, and you can do that too. And then qualify your leads, have the lender follow back up with them. Let them, like, help them with the conversations. If they're doing a cash, hey, this is the information we're gonna need, just a bank statement. You can cross out your information as far as, but just to show that you do have the 660,000 in your account. So, plan an open house. Okay. Any other ahas? No? Okay. And I would recap, but I think they already did pretty good on recapping, and we're gonna turn it over to Kim.
What do we need to do to change that?
I have absolutely no idea. My second. Thing.
I think we're green. Who's here? Who's walking up? Or is that automatic?
That's probably automatic. Maybe that's. Fine. Yeah, please still there. Oh, nope, nope, oh shoot.
Oh. No, she's still,
Let me get
she's
that.
still there. Weird.
I have no clue. Let me see if I can find somebody. Please hold. You know how to work that? Do I know how to work that? I don't even know how to use that. I don't touch it. I don't touch it.
I'm guessing it's probably that.
The Chrome, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But hit escape.
sorry, I'm gonna run you right over, sorry.
And then.
I don't know anyone. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. See, she's the tech person.
And then at the bottom it should have a say.
Get being a princess, I wanna be a realtor.
Right.
There you
So we got it. Yeah, and then-
Anyway. Are you guys using social media a lot or just a little bit?
Just a little.
All the time.
Almost all the things.
All the time.
And I'll just be. I'll just get it. Anyway, it's like your database. Your social media has like. Kind of like my Achilles heel, but I'm doing okay at it, so anyway, it's one of those things that you have to do, necessary evil. Don't take yourself too serious on that. And don't take everybody else serious either. Like, they're only showing you this much of their life. Like. Don't get too wrapped up in it, which is super hard some days. I know, like. You see everybody's like. Wonderful lives and stories, and they've got 20 listings and all that stuff, but. It's not always the case. Like. Yeah.
The
Don't you
hardest
think?
part with the social media is not going down a rabbit hole.
Oh,
Like
for sure.
I start like doing what I need to do and. So,
And limit yourself.
yeah,
Set a timer.
it's like I'll stop because I'm like, oh geez, like that's not even what I'm looking, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
I
gotta be
know
very-
exactly what you're talking about. I did go down the rabbit hole yesterday, and because I went to an event. It was an influencer event, and I'm like, I want to find out more about this company. So I started watching their videos and like. Yeah.
Lots of time, I'm seeing at the very, how important that is, and I need to really try and focus on that. Set times, and this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. I mean, you have to be flexible, I get that, but it is really helpful.
And like, as like, just like you're doing an open house, how we go. Like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do this week, week. I wanna get X amount of leads from social media or whatever. So have your goals set on what you wanna accomplish on social media. So it doesn't end up being like, have it work for you. So it's not something that you do get caught in these rabbit holes all the time, but. What's more fine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just talk about engagement systems, like follow-up, social media strategies, posting practices. I do have a VA that helps with some of my postings. And then I also have a program that I use to distribute to multiple social media outlets at the same time. Posting in the morning or in the afternoon better than posting at noon. So like just watch your times that you're posting.
10 o'clock at night is not
No,
always.
like most people are getting ready in the morning for work or whatever they're doing that day. They'll first thing that they do is check social media. So those in the morning or after 4 o'clock. I want to post probably anything past like 8, 9 o'clock. Probably 9 is probably the where like don't do it. And I know some of the they have it.
Yeah, I about that. It's a good thing Kenzie does all my other posting.
Yep, sometimes it's like, oh, we got a minute, let's hurry and do it. So if it can wait until morning or get it ready to post and then have it like schedule it to post, but even like Facebook and those guys have. You can schedule it out. You can use KW in command that has again, well, it's a, yeah, it's not one thing, but it's the social media kind of planner thing where you can schedule all your stuff through command. So that's an option too. And then you already paid for that service, so. Okay, it takes time to learn something and more time to implement it and even longer to approach mastery at it. Basically, just keep doing it and get better at it. There's some, so when I first started doing real estate, like I was trying to figure out how to integrate social media into like doing real estate, not all that, but if you start reading up about it, or if you don't feel like you're very good at something or one of the platforms, ask, talk to people, research it. I've done a ton of research on Instagram and some of the other social media sites. Like they mentioned that I have 1 million followers on Instagram, but like I use Pinterest, I use LinkedIn, Facebook. I get a ton of leads off of Facebook. I'm just using TikTok, Tumblr, like any social media thing that you can do.
You also put it in the magazine.
What's that?
You put it in the magazine that comes out.
The one that like comes, gets mailed to the houses, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what it's called, I see it. Comes out once a month. Fine. That,
Okay, engagement system. So social media is powerful, free tools. There is a lot of free tools, so don't think that you have to have like buy all this stuff to do social media if you don't. You have Pinterest, you can come up with content. You have Canva, you can come up with content. Like there's so, well, even your MLS. You can come up with content from the MLS too. So like if you've got a friend, like, hey, Steph has a house that is listed, hey, yeah, can I go?
Yeah.
Like, market your house, do it.
cause you can use ours. All you have to do is have text. And
Yeah, just, but yeah, have a conversation with the person, don't just start marketing their house. Probably not a good idea.
I've seen it happen, so too fast.
Yeah, it is happening
Yeah.
quite a bit, but if you just contact that person, they don't, they want as many eyes on that property as possible. So,
That's the other good thing about open houses and having other people do them, because they see my face doing the same open house. But then they see Claudia doing that open house for me, but it goes to all her friends too, so it's not just staying in my friend groups.
and I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you have several people like that are buddies, so like say Steph and I are buddies, I text them, hey, I just posted one, can you go like it?
I could share,
Yeah.
I could share.
And it doesn't have to be another realtor, it could be one of your friends, it could be whoever, it could be your mom, your grandma, brother, whoever. Like, hey, I just posted something, can you like and share it, or like it and comment it? If you like, comment and share it, like your algorithms go up. So definitely like have a team. So if they are like, let's say your brother sells insurance, like partner up and when you post something and you share it. Just makes it easier. And then also your algorithms go up. So anyway. And then expand your sphere with your smartphone. Everybody's working off of their phones now. And then engage with followers. So if somebody comments on your stuff, like whatever they've said and then like put something on like comment. I don't do anything long. Like I don't sit there and say, oh my gosh, did it, I'm so gonna see you the 3 Thanksgivings ago. Like don't get like that engaged, like be like just like it and be like, it's been so long since I've seen you, and that's it. Or let's go to lunch. Just something quick. Then this is kind of the magic number, I guess, from this. I've noticed. So 10's good, 20 is great, 25, and then you start getting like better numbers at that point. So kind of keep the 10 rule in mind. So if you want 10 likes a day. What they're saying on this is you do that. So you
You write
go,
10.
yeah, so you go to
Okay.
10 different people and like their stuff. If you comment, keep it about 5 words. So that's like the 5 rule. So 5 rules, 5 words or less on 10 people. Okay. If that makes sense. See, 5 comments, 5 comments, but it's 5 words too. So do 10 likes. I figure if you're already on their page, just write a cute comment. Hey, your dog's so cute, whatever. Just write something really quick
I'm so jealous.
about, oh,
You're
yeah.
on vacation, right?
Right. Come back and get me.
Yeah.
And then, direct messages, direct message is fine, like, then it's like off social media, and you're not like engaging. I don't do this a ton because your algorithms. You can do that just to engage with people, but it doesn't really help. So, anyway. Any ahas on that section?
Interesting.
Question? What?
What did you say didn't help?
Direct
Algorithms
messages.
is the
Oh.
direct, but that
One.
does help, I guess, if you're talking about cultivating, you know, just
Relationship.
trying to build a relationship, so I can.
Yeah.
But I can see what you're saying too, though, but it doesn't help this.
Right. I don't do that, but I do text a lot. So. If I do see someone's post and they're saying something, whatever, I'll text them and be like, are you okay? You need anything? How can I help? Whatever. I don't do the direct, my direct message is texting.
Got it.
I don't. And I think that's more personal.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I don't really check my messages on Facebook a lot. I will, but I like, again, I got that box and I gotta be doing that. for me. So anyway,
Do you go through the office here?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering.
no, and I'll just tell you, I found my VA on Fiverr and it was. She's like $80 a week. So, and then posting practices. My thing, so it says 80-20, so 80% personal and then 20% real estate. I don't think nobody really cares, like, if you wanna just make your whole page about real estate once in a while about your personal stuff. No, do you think anybody really cares?
I
A little
think-
bit, but not a lot.
So they wanna know who you are, I feel like. They care about what you're posting as far as work goes. And if it catches their eye, but they're noticing that you're posting quite a bit. I get the most likes off my kids, like, hey, Kenzie was dancing today, they did so good. And I'll get the most likes off that. Now with, hey, what age were you when you became a grandma? That freaking blew up. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, they wanna know who you are.
And do something that's engaging, so if you ask your audience. For a while, I was doing a lot of like before and afters for kitchens, because I removed my kitchen. And people love that.
Oh, yeah.
So like, and you can get before and after pictures for anything, like backyards or whatever, off of Pinterest. You know, you go on Ripple or Canva and add a logo onto it. So I do have issues with people stealing my content
Do you?
all the time.
I could see that, because I'll see somebody's contact or content and I'm like, oh, that would have been a great question to ask. And so then I'll think about it and I'm like, oh, I'll write it down and maybe in 6 months.
Well, with that, if I do see somebody that I'm like, oh, that's cute,
Mhm.
I'll
Ask.
copy it and put it in my notebook. And then I'll reformat it or whatever, and
And
then
then-
put a date on it so that I can post it later.
Yeah.
That's respecting the other person.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cute idea. I
Yeah.
like the idea and I wanna remember that, but I
Yeah.
wanna rewrite it into my words.
exactly. I mean, if you guys are friends with Craig Lilith, he's also an agent. He's done coaching. He just quit doing a maps coaching and whatnot, but hey, I mean, his questions are simple and you're like, why didn't I come up with
Right,
that?
right.
Like,
But just
Great.
copy it or save it and
Yeah.
then I just put it in my notebook, like on my phone.
Yeah.
So that I can remember to do it or say it. Ask later or whatever. But yeah, just remember, even if it's dumb things like. Your dog, my whole thing right now is my dogs and.
they're so cute.
But I figure people are gonna get sick of the dogs.
And they don't.
They're like, well. Yeah, they don't, people
Yeah.
don't get sick of the dog. Sometimes I do, but
She's
Um,
nice little.
I have little. things. And I'll probably bring them often. My. Little one, he's 8 months old now, and. He's hilarious, so he'll sit by me when I'm in bed, and he'll look at me, and then he'll jump. At my face, and I'm like. What are you doing? But. I want you to. I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff, like. The dogs, kids, grandkids,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of people commenting on the baby.
Well, Kenzie has been doing what to expect during being pregnant, and she'll be like, hey, today Olivia is the size of a taco, and she probably weighs 2 pounds, and like, she'll just do, and I'm like, so nice. That's silly. But, and then people, if she doesn't post for a week, they're like, what's going on with Olivia? We haven't heard. I'm like, oh, it's so fun. So.
Yeah, people like to encourage that stuff, you know, like. Just to have a little bit of personality, but. It brightens their day too. So anyway, there's options, figure out what you guys like to do. Like biking, canoeing, whatever. Post about that. Like, that's your clients, like, those are your people that are gonna be your clients. Those are your-
The people that want
That's
to
your
be
target.
around Disneyland or they'll follow you like gold.
Okay.
Mhm.
So find out, like, make a list of the things that you like to do. If you like to cook, post, like, sit down every week and figure out what recipe you're gonna post that week. At least post one thing a day. Whether it's a recipe, before, after, or an open house, whatever. Figure out your timeline on what you're gonna post. And then figure out when, like, even make your chart, like, hey, I wanna do it this and that day, or Tuesday tip day, or freebie Friday, what in the area has a freebie today? Community stuff's big, if you can find stuff that's community based. Like, what's going on right now, it's all the city,
Fireworks.
yeah, the fireworks, the
City days.
city days.
Heritage
So like Heritage Days, 4th of July is coming up, so, have a list of the places that are gonna do fireworks.
Syracuse is this weekend. That's why we're
Talk
doing the
to
open.
a fireworks stand and say, hey, if I do a thing that has a coupon and pass them out to my client, can we do like free box of sparklers? And then post that on, like, online. But then have them talk to you, come talk to me, your thing, or I'll meet you there, whatever your
Call me.
thing is,
Yeah.
tell me. So you can give them their coupon, but on your coupon, you make sure you have your logo and your phone number. Whatever you talk to the fireworks stand about too. If they wanna do a percentage off, cause you brought up there. And tell the fireworks, place, like, I'm the local realtor. They'll be like,
Leave your cards.
yeah, like. Leave your cards there, you got pens, whatever, they will.
If you're helping them, they'll help you.
Yep.
Ask
And
them.
they're bringing people in, and that's what they need, is people in, so that they can sell everything. Okay, so 80-20, personal interest posts, so this is the thing, I already talked about that part. So art, exercise, outdoor, music, team sport. Right now, there's a lot of like, live music and music in the park, so,
And
post that, like. Those little informational things about, hey, this place is having this person at this time and this day, this person's having this place is having this, whatever. Real estate posts, so listings, open house, awards, speaking events. Classes, if there's a class that you think somebody wants to take regarding real estate, like buying your first home, whatever, make sure that you're posting that. 10% community service. Yeah, like that could be anything really. Okay, so one of the pages I watched, and you know you're from Ogden, whatever, I just watched it because it's very comical to me. So 9 times out of 10 posts, there's like people saying like they need things. If you know, like, the community places around town, and just put it on a Canva thing and have them all listed out, like, what is it, St. Anne's or St. whatever. That is giving out food and what days and times, there's a place in North Ogden, Tri-City. Fridays, they give away free food,
Yeah, you see them all lined up on.
yeah, so just put it all together on one Tri-City exchange. They do food on Friday, it's called Community Day. 12:30 to 5. Yeah, so anyway, there's just options that way. I'll hold on that.
I think it's freaking awesome. She is the one to learn from too.
When I got a class that's not this, like this is KW stuff, I got my own stuff.
And how long have you been actively invested in doing social media as a teacher?
Only 6 months into being in real estate, and my social media switched.
And it was like, was it pretty slow to start off with, like a big jump?
Well, it was still on my personal side, like. But then when I changed over to real estate, it kind of blew up from there, right?
Yeah.
It's been steadily, and then I set goals for myself on what milestones I wanna reach. Like, I'm at 1 million on Instagram, but I wanna stay there for a minute, and everybody's like, "Oh, you don't wanna, let me adjust, you know, to what's going on in life before you throw more stuff at me, but. It's been good, like, if you guys can't, like, if you guys haven't yet, go on your Instagram and verify your account. So you'll have that little check mark, whatever, so just make sure you do that. There's a couple of other tricks that I could teach you, but this isn't direct, unfortunately, but anyway. Social media strategies, check with people you know, who you met, you know. Oh, connect with them, sorry. Post about your neighborhood. If you don't like your neighborhood, post about somebody else's neighborhood. Research a neighborhood that you want to be in. Use images, a lot of images that you can get, go on to Google Images. Like, free. Go on to Pinterest. I have been on sites that make you pay for the photos. I feel like Google Images has been great. Pinterest, there's all these free places that I would use definitely over paying something for something, and then congratulating your homeowners. So I struggle with it. One, because that's the buyer's news. Like, they may not want their sister to know that they just bought a house. You know, so this is what I struggle with. So if you ask them, can we post about your new house, or why don't you post about your house first and then tag me, and then I'll post about it too. You can always do that. I just.
Yeah.
I've had people say like, I don't want my sister to know yet, or my parents don't know. So,
I've had that wife, so my wife don't know about almost yet. So I did it just private, like, and they live across the street from me, but yeah, same thing. Teachers are another one that some of them really want to post about it.
right, law enforcement does not.
Yeah, they don't want people to know where they live and.
You can post about the family, say they just moved, but don't like, if it's okay with them.
I've had, so I give a sign for their front door that says welcome. And I've had them where they just put it over their face so you can see their hands and you can see their feet, and that's it. And that's okay, it's a picture. And then I send them that, and I send them the ones of their whole body. So they have.
These can be the boards, don't really like.
That's another, yeah.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
They don't want everybody, well,
Well, like when they're divorced, then they already have.
Yeah,
So they don't want the picture.
I love those.
Or-
Or like 5 and
Those are
1.
3 transactions. Yeah. Take a picture all they want.
Yeah, because then you have.
well, if they don't wanna do a picture, then ask them, do you mind if I post a picture of just the front?
I usually just take a picture with the lender
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
or the title.
yeah,
Mhm.
those options. But. You gotta sometimes be creative.
Yeah.
Tell me about listings and also engage, so again, engage if somebody likes the property or whatever, just remember to engage in the post and then engage with. So somebody likes the post. Depends on who it is on my page, but I'll call them or text them, they're like, hey, I like my. Open house. Can you do me a huge favor, share it? So, there's another engagement, but
I've even seen people that will put, like share post for a chance to win $250 or whatever,
or $25
$25.
gift card, it's already $10. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just thinking of Jared Newton, where he had like 4 things stolen off his truck, and he's like, hey, it's gonna cost me $580. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna give out whoever likes copies and share $528. So he matched it, and it was like, okay. So, I don't know, be creative, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Highlights of your business, so think about like, hyper local information, I realize tech development, so. Scientists only, one of the things that we can highlight in our business now, there's a lot of chatter and false information going around about the fire education stuff. So this is a good opportunity to start educating people. I've seen agents say, ask me any question you want, that can get muddy really quick.
And like I just posted one, just said, hey, what, did you see that? And they like totally bashed on it. And it's like, hey, it sounds like you have some concerns around it. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
there's more to it, but that was pretty much.
I don't know if I've seen it, I've seen the one in the agent page.
It was the one with, Jared James.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's options.
Yeah.
Google it. Use Google. That's our best resource. Like, or ChatGPT, but put it in ChatGPT, like, come up with 5 talking points in Weaver County for home buyers.
Oh,
And then post it. There's your questions for the day.
there you go.
ChatGPT is awesome. There's a free side and then there's a fake side, so never.
Don't ask what to say to your best friend. That is hilarious. I sent it to my best friend. We were like talking about it. She's also a real estate agent, so I was talking to her about it. And I'm like, yeah, just go into that. I'm like, what'd you say to your best friend? They came up. Oh my gosh, we were dying.
Yeah, well, so ChatGPT now is the Amazon. So like, remember when you take your like little, what do they call Amazon Alexas and say things
Oh.
to that, they just what you would say.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
And it's the same thing with ChatGPT right now. But ChatGPT will give you ideas on all of this. Alexa might too.
Uh-huh.
Then don't post and go, so don't create content and then just forget about it, like keep checking on it. You'll notice, like, when you put your list together on what you want to post in which days, on what does well, and if it doesn't do well, then switch it, which is something else. Great pointers are, don't post politics, religion, race, nothing like that. So stay away from those conversations. Great conversations or great things to post are things to do like maintenance ideas for in the fall, in the summer, in the spring, like in the winter, like home maintenance, spring cleaning ideas, anything that has to do with like your home, tips and tricks that way. So anyway. Add value. So participate in online communities if you go on to the you know you're from logged in gift, like just know they might attack you.
They do.
So like, kind of keep a low profile. I don't know if you guys seen, there's a, business owner that had trapped the cat and sprayed it down, like, basically waterboarded this cat. Posted it online and it's all over that page. It's been on the news now, and I'm like, you just ruined your business, bro.
Yeah.
So don't, try not to do stuff like. So, anyway, just be mindful that people are watching all the time. And we want clients, we don't want enemies.
And you catch a bee with honey.
Yeah.
Remember that.
What was that?
You catch a bee with honey.
Oh, yeah.
Always be nicer than the people that are, even if it's hard.
And that, sometimes it is hard in like those forums that they communicate and stuff is really hard to. If you want to say your opinion, but
You want help.
yeah, and if they do it the way, somebody else will say it.
Sean actually would rather us not be
Right.
on the, agent site.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think what it is, there's some that's,
Well, I'm on that. I think that Utah agents or something.
yeah,
I don't post. 'cause,
don't
like,
post, yeah,
I'm just like, I'll just sit there.
yeah, just if you watch it,
And
don't.
when that whole thing happened and everybody's like freaking out about that VAC stuff. There was a lot of agents posting in there and they were posting false information.
Yeah,
And
and they were coaches.
I know what you're talking about. 'Cause I showed it to Sean, he's like, just shake with it,
Yeah,
like, nope. I know exactly what you're talking about,
but he changed really fast, didn't he?
which. Some coaches have to learn too.
Yep.
Post on social media, so be authentic, don't, be a jack of all trades, break videos. Videos are hard, but if you can't, or you're struggling with being in front of the camera. Go on to, like, so Canva does do videos now. Get on. Like, I use CapCut a lot. You can do pictures on CapCut, you don't have to be on video. CapCut does cost. It's just like $90 a year.
And when I started doing videos, I was terrified of them. Now, people wanna see you and they wanna see you on video. And it was funny, I would like cross my legs and then do you know how many people said, it's like you're gonna be your pets, but it was hilarious. And I'm like, okay, but it was funny. So I'm like, hey, don't cross my legs anymore. It was like, all right, so.
Be mindful of your limitations too, like I'll just tell you, like, I was in an accident 4 years ago. I have a brain injury, so if you guys can tell, like, I'm gonna, not on purpose, but I'm standing still right now, but I'm not, because I always feel like I'm on a boat. If you see me, you guys feel like I'm gonna fall over, like, I know in reality, I'm not going to, and I know I'm not on a boat, but my brain thinks that. So like holding the camera and doing all that stuff, like, I will have to be against the wall to do something like that. It's just know your limits, know what you can do. Use analytics to optimize your posts. My suggestion is don't boost them. If you don't have to, I don't waste your money on boosting. If you want to do an ad, do it through command. Command is cheaper, more effective than posting it on Instagram or Facebook. And I ran those side by side just because I wanted to.
Well, and,
And ask for help. There was plenty of us in the office that if you called, said, hey, I want to come with you for an hour. We will.
yeah, and if we don't know your answers, we know who does have the answers.
So just to recap, so post, don't post, post, add value. Highlight your business. Maybe you decided like, I want to help this clientele specifically. Then say that, well, not specifically so, but just say, hey, one of my niches or one of the type of clients that I buy. is like, the clients that I like to help are new buyers. I think it's a great opportunity to be a part of that journey with you for your first buying or selling your first home, buying your first home, the whole thing.
We have a class that Eden puts on, and it's for the younger clients that are looking to, how do you start the process?
Well, and investing too, right?
Yeah,
I think younger people need to start looking at buying homes now, right, much earlier, and have those options, instead of waiting for someone. It's not gonna be their first house. The average person moves at least 6 times in their life. So they're like, nope, I'm gonna buy my forever home. Okay, not true.
No.
But, building equity would bring them up to another home, like, or, you know, an older couple are gonna sell their house to, you know, empty nesters or whatever. Like, I got a 6-bedroom house, I don't want that house. Like, when my kids are gone. Well, my next set of kids, I guess.
they mix it, yep.
My kids are adults, they're gone, they're got their own houses, the whole deal, but now I got my grandkids. with us, So,
You have your stepkids too.
yeah, well, second to, yeah, half the time.
Yeah.
I went from nothing to the whole house is full again. And I did think about selling my house, but I had nobody.
You did, I remember.
No, I'm like, I'm so happy. It's a good thing I didn't. Any ahas, questions, comments, concerns?
I would just say, when you start posting, don't like slow down. So when I was in my car accident, like I did everything. I'm very like mom oriented. And then I was still posting, still doing the stuff, because you're not gonna stop, you know? And I had the attorney that was just Jay, and he was like, you're still going to Disneyland, you're still doing this, and I found out through like the conversation, he had a 6-month-old, and I'm like, would you quit? Like, do you wanna be there for your kid, walking and crawling and this and that and the other, and he's like, okay, I'm done. So don't stop once you keep going.
I see where they're coming from, because I don't want the other side to see that you're still
He was the other side,
living.
yeah. I was like, well, I mean, you take ibuprofen, you're not gonna stay home and just do drugs.
Right. Right, and it's,
Learn from my mistake.
I know, and I kind of have the same thing with my accident, because part of mine is the brain injury, the TBI, and they don't want you to be working.
Yeah.
So, if it's something like that, don't make those posts public, just make them private, like just to your friends. Anyway,
But you don't even know who your friends are, because they could, you know,
or friends or followers,
yeah,
yeah,
so, I mean, don't stop, keep going.
yeah, there's always. People are watching, like, people are always watching, so just keep going.
I want to, that's kind of creepy.
Well, you put yourself out there, I'm sure, and then you're gonna get all kinds of everything, so, you know, I'm sure that's probably been a thing, you know, and
Oh,
so.
for sure.
Yeah.
But so it's a little scary sometimes to like, open up to all this personal stuff, right? Like you think about, like, my kids are all grown now, but I've got 8 grandkids, you know, and so it's like. But that's where my mind goes first is
Right.
safety, like,
Right.
am I gonna be, anyway.
You don't have to post with their grandkids, don't post like where they live, like don't post
Right.
like their city.
Right.
And don't even tag, like, check in those cities if you can. For instance, I did have a client. I try to get my clients to, like my sellers, to take all of their personal photos, most of their personal photos down. And he refused, and he had a 10-year-old daughter. And I'm like, okay, people coming in their house. No, your kid's in the school district. Like, for her safety, please, and so she's like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh, I see, so you're talking open houses, like.
Well,
kinda have-
open houses or your grandkids or whatever, they'll check in those areas that, you know, that, your grandkids are gonna be vulnerable to. Cause people can see them at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd be like, oh, you're so grandkid, and they're like, "Mhm, you must know my grandma." So, try not to do that. Like, I haven't told anybody on social media except for Taylor that I do have a grandkid.
Mhm.
I should, I don't know.
No, and it's, that's probably, yeah, cause I'm just like, as you're talking about, show who you are, who you treat, but I've been like.
Just be
I
mindful.
think I'm reluctant to do anything with the grandkids, you know,
Yeah.
because, yeah, that's my concern, cause I think most people are good, but there are some that are not, and that worries me.
Yeah, just be mindful. Yeah, just be mindful. I'm gonna show you something on so successes for the days. Your 10 conversations, 10 contacts, 10 who you know. Your social media, your 10, 5 and 1. Just remember to keep doing that every week. Anyway. Any other questions, concerns?
Good information. I appreciate you sharing that.
If you have like a social media outlet that you want to get better at, like do a ton of research. Like, I think almost every day I learn something new about Instagram. Well, I learned something new about everything. I just found something new about TikTok. So,
Yeah.
I like to figure out the puzzle, because it is a puzzle.
Mm.
So, yeah, just
Another
I-
thing you could do to like keep privacy, what I like to do if you're planning on checking in places, is I always take a picture and then post it like a few days later and then check in
that's a good idea too.
so that they know that I was there, or they saw
Right.
it, but it's not at the same day at the same time.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
there.
a good idea.
Yeah.
And out of town too. You gotta post when you get back.
Yeah, always do the recap. Hey, we went to Disneyland and whatever. So that they're like, you'll think it's crazy, but you post while you're there, people are like, oh, she's not working.
Yeah.
She's not available.
Hmm.
No, we still are.
Yeah.
We've got other people that we can call to show out or whatever. Or if somebody wants to sell a house and wants to schedule that, like they can still call you and schedule that for next week or whenever you're gonna be back, but just do the recap. Pretty well, and then also that helps your house too. So people don't break in, they're gone, that's the thing. What else? You got ideas too?
Sure.
You have ideas or anything that we missed?
Like when I go on vacation, 'cause I just came back, a few days ago. When I go and went on vacation, I accumulate a lot of work posts or market updates and things like that. So while I'm gone, it automatically posts it. So it looks like I'm still working.
Yeah.
And then when I get back, it's not letting me post, I'm like, I sent out.
Yeah.
But I'm back, it's like I was never even
Gone.
gone, because if you're on vacation, they think, oh, she's too busy.
Yep.
We take a lot of vacation.
And I get people saying that to me too, like, you're always so busy,
Yeah.
and I'm like. I
Or
get
they
that,
see you
but-
on vacation, but they
Right.
don't know when you're gonna be back, it's a lot of, it's just best to, like, you said, just recap it, and
Yeah.
highlights, knock out.
Yeah, and like even like comments that people say, like, you're always so busy. I'm never too busy for you.
Yeah.
Always like try to make them feel like they're the only client you have. For some reason, some of them get very upset. Not being your only client. I did have one client, I sold her house and bought her a new house, and then like she found out I was stuck with another client. I have a hard time, I accumulate friends. Can't stop talking to them after the transaction. So, she got so mad. She's like, do you just make friends with all of your clients? No,
It's like the one person
What?
you're like,
she got mad. She got so mad at him. Nobody just has one friend.
you got one friend at school that you couldn't talk to anybody.
I know, that's the way she is, and I have to be like, no, we're welcoming more friends into our circle. So, it's interesting, some people get a little upset about that, but. You guys have any ahas, questions? We're done early.
I know, I'm like, I should have used the clicker, that would have been easier.
I don't like reading that, there's a lot of information in there.
There is,
If you guys want copies of it, let us know. That's just.
I printed
it's
it
reading
all.
material.
That would have been great.
Yeah, well, they have them printed out for us.
Yeah.
So you-
Well, I
Oh, they look at you guys.
Are you, I heard you say something about 80 a week. Is that like, do you pay somebody to do your posts and stuff? Is that
So-
kind of what you're?
I do have her do my posts, I do have her put in all of my leads into my command. Let's see what else I hear. Anything. Like, hey, can you do this? Yeah. Just, she just does. Whatever I need her to do. A lot of my stuff's done into that. I took all the stuff that wasn't making me money
Yeah.
and I passed it off.
Okay.
Like,
So she's like an assistant for you?
yeah, this is a VA, she's a virtual assistant.
Oh, virtual
She's
assistant.
she's
Okay.
in, the Philippines, popular, like,
Oh,
We have a few that Keller Williams has,
yeah.
and I
Kelly
think
has
it's like
some.
$900.
Whatever,
Oh, interesting.
whatever I need her to do, then she'll do it, so. It's data entry, posting, she's helped with that, she's doing.
so does she find your content and stuff, or do you tell her, here's what I wanna post, and she'll like put it all
Yeah,
these places?
I'll lay it out for her, and like we
Okay.
have those conversations like. Through email weekly, and then I did, come up with some Canva stuff. And so I let her know like, hey, I loaded some new Canva content. In the Canva, so. I'll color stuff like that, and like, when I want things posted, but.
Okay.
On Instagram, I think we're up to posting 14 today. It's dumb, but. It helps.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you said that you get a lot of leads in that from your social.
I do,
Awesome.
I do, I get a lot. So,
Okay. So when you have like a virtual assistant like that, when you're saying so you give her your passwords to get into your command then? So she.
Yeah, she got she does do my birthday, so every. Couple days, she'll give me a list of like people on my Facebook that has a birthday coming up. Well, that's a good opportunity for me to clean out my Facebook.
Yeah.
I'll be like, delete this one, keep this one, so we'll go through those ones. Then she'll post a happy birthday or half anniversary. Then she'll also check to make sure. Command has the birthday in it.
So you must have like a template that you fill out with all the information, just email it to her? Like, how do you,
But for like,
well, just to put your contacts into, your leads into command? Is she entering those in command for you,
the lead, yeah.
your leads?
So leads usually, like, she's the one that's checking those, so she's the one
Oh.
that's checking my messages.
Oh, okay,
I don't have anything to hide and I don't really care.
yeah,
I'll tell you, you said you probably had some interesting things, yes. Social media has, I've cried. Let's just say that, like,
yeah.
not because it's bad, but I was single for quite a while and guys are sometimes not so nice. And girls, those are not so nice too, but, I get a lot of private messages and stuff that I'm like, not nice.
Or we'll just be
Yes,
Yeah,
a lot of guys are like, hey, let's meet at an open house, well, I don't know you, stranger. I'm not doing that.
yes, okay,
I'll be like, okay, here's my lender's information, we need to,
Yeah.
get a, what's it called? Pre-approval,
Well, and that's just safety.
yeah,
That's
and
just.
I never go alone to anybody, if I haven't met them. I won't.
Yeah.
Someone else did. I got into a situation in Ogden. A billion stories too, but, I went to show a buyer a house and it was supposed to be vacant. Weird stuff like a towel. Like, what is that? The toothbrush, yep, toothbrush in the bathroom. I'm like, what's going on? We opened one of the doors and there was a guy asleep. We're like, sorry, guys. And he's like, we just signed the lease. Like, very. That, but then I didn't call the police. I called the other agent. I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is true or not, but they said it was kind of late and he goes, nope, there's squatters. I'm like, well, you got squatters then. Well, I want to handle that before you show the house.
I've had agents that say take a gun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, like,
I did have my physical carry before that brain injury stuff. I can't stand straight. Who thinks they can shoot straight? So I.
you're like, stun gun.
I'm gone. Mace, we're ready. If you've got it,
Don't lose it in the elementary school.
yeah, if you've got an iPhone, if you hit it 5 times on the side, it'll immediately fall asleep.
oh, on the right side,
I think it is. I don't
This
know.
one, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
so just hit it 5 times, like in a row, like it just immediately falls. And they'll immediately send somebody out, and you don't have to say anything. They don't know, well, it will work, so they can, everybody knows that it hit, but.
can you guys do concealed weapons as an agent?
Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
can?
And there's places that will give them to us, give us the class for free.
Really? Yeah. Okay, cause I think I wanted to, I started doing it, but then I always had my kids in the house.
Yeah.
Who is doing that?
pepper spray.
We've done it,
There was a,
oh, red dot,
no,
red dot,
it was, inspector.
gadget, no, I'm kidding. Sorry. I have
Where'd you get your taser?
My really good. Oh.
gun shows.
Or you can go
Yeah,
on,
sure.
like, Cow Ranch, stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Mhm. I got my, yeah, I got both my daughters and I won at a gun show and then, but I do have my concealed license. So, and there's been a few times that I've actually taken it. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah,
Yeah, just because you felt like you needed it.
Some of the agents have told you, 'cause they knew their spotters, there's just some places that I feel better just to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
Never had to use it. I've had the same story where a spotter came up from downstairs, but
It scares the bejesus out of you, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
You can let me.
yeah.
I'll pass them out. If you want them, great. If not, you can try them.
Yeah. Put me to sleep.
There you go. Nothing cookie night.
So where do you pack?
I put my here.
That's where I can
Mine-
say what you.
Yeah. I have a little bit of like a scoliosis, so it's kind of, anyway, I'm gonna dead there anyway, so it's like, okay. My daughter does hair, my husband does hair, my son-in-law does hair. But all of my family has it, so. I mean, my son-in-law. Maybe, so,
Yeah,
or was, but yeah, we all have it.
well, that's good. I've always thought about it, but then especially getting into this industry, I thought. It wouldn't be bad. But
Yeah,
of course, I want to be
Backpack
efficient
too.
because if you don't know how to use it, it'll get used against you.
right,
So I just want to make sure that
Exactly.
I'm confident in.
so they have classes for women at Red Dot that you can go and take class, like. You can go shooting, I mean, at the range. I believe it's October Safety Month.
Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome. We go to the sheriff's office in Weaver County on 27th. No, well, no, 27th, off of 27th, and that's really cool. We've had years that they've set up like an open house, and they're all like in all their gear.
Content we
And
need to
they-
post.
Yeah, yeah,
Because then they're like, look at what a good shot I am.
yeah.
They'll be like, stay away from her.
Well, I got a concussion because I was walking through their like little simulator kind of thing, and the cop like jumped out, tackled me, and then I like froze. And they're like, kick, fight back. I'm like, oh, okay. And I left there, and I swear to goodness, I looked at one of my best friends. We went and looked at his house, and I'm like, how do I spell your name? It's Andrew. How do you not know Andrew? Like, that's given. Anyway, so it was a good class. I learned a lot, and I still, yeah, a lot of like self-defense fighting and
Yeah, when that
whatnot.
month too, they have different things that go on, like. It's not just military, fighting.
You guys are
Yeah, be
interested,
aware.
yeah. I can, someone also the education committee, we can bring it, Corey, Brendan, he, has been. He's been in the military, he's been a cop, he, diffuses the situation, kind of like Spot said the other day. But he can teach us and all that, so if that's something we're interested in, we can ask him. We can have, they haha, a class that is monthly. And then once you pay for it, it's like, I think I paid $35. I paid for my daughter to go to it. It is with the, Weaver County Sheriff's Department. And me and my daughter went, my daughter was like 12, and the cop's like, hey, she could be in a dark alley and she'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I have no concern. But same thing, there, you walk through a park, kind of in the same thing, and there's 5, 6 people, you don't know who's a bad guy,
Oh.
and then you have to like, defend yourself.
Situation and-
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
and then you
Have
can
you done
go
it
and take it,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I was just
I was
curious.
raised with brothers.
Oh, you're like, I'm good.
Like I got it.
But it's really good for another stuff. Yeah, just because you're.
rad, great defense. Anyway, so Emily Hanson Cox, if you go like to her, she's pretty much over that. But you can go to her Facebook and it gives you all the information when it's the next class, and I can actually find out all of that too. Hold on. Oops, Cyberspark.
Well, if we're doing it in October, that's okay. I just was like, I just think that's something in my goals, you know, that I'd like to do, just to make sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do 2 days of like classes, and then they do a simulation day.
Okay,
Sure. And then once you take it, you can go back for all time and eternity. You can go back anytime you want.
okay.
Self-defense more. The next one is. If I'm registering, it's June 11th, it's $70. And the next one is September 3rd. So it's $70. You can go back. They have it June, September, November, and then next March.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Hey, cool. Guys,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, really good information.
Hey, bye, Haley.
Does anybody want to look at either of these boxes before I put them on? Okay. I'm gonna grab my signs, I just put that on the front door of the.